Hi, I'm Nick. This is Nick's Fix. Today we're going to talk about the surprising health benefits of the ancient Malays Budu, the Garos and Garams of the East. Enjoy! Fish sauce in general is a good source of iron, riboflavin, niacin, magnesium, vitamin B12 and B6. It is a good appetizer. That's one of the comments left on Quora by a fish sauce aficionado. It is a seasoning used in various cuisines in Southeast and East Asia, particularly Indonesian, Burmese, Cambodia, Filipino, Thai, Laos and Vietnam. But Budu, the rudimentary Garos, doesn't always pop up in culinary reviews, understandably, because Budu of the ancient Malays are more for dipping. Alison Burks, in her Fermented Fish Foods on Westoner Price site back in 2016, shared regarding the precarious nature of fermented meat and fishes. They are the least stable and run the risk of contamination with pathogenic bacteria like Clostridium botulinum and toxic biogenic amines. It's not easy actually to get it right. Fish sauces can get you sick. Fermentation expert Sandor Katz said in his book, The Art of Fermentation, fermented fish can definitely force us to confront and perhaps challenge the slippery and elusive boundary between what is and is not fit to eat. Making fish sauces and Budu safe to eat with trustworthy quality and consistency is the way to go. Although some online articles do tell readers about making DIY own fish sauces, it is not so prevalent, and thank God for that. And because it's very, very, very risky. One could die from all those harmful bacteria, as stated earlier. Instead of fermenting, you could be rotting it and eating rotten food. What's the worst that can happen? Few would say. Well, never play with food. One wrong turn, you'll be so sorry that you wish you never ventured on that path. What I'm saying is, for many novices out there, more so if making fish sauces to be shared with others, the health threats of fish sauces badly made are present and real. Learn well, experiment cautiously, or not at all. Leave it to the experts and the ones with real certs. We thank you all the great fish sauce and good quality Budu manufacturers, in this case, for producing safe condiments for all of us to try and sample. Who would have thought that the murky brownish thing called Budu, the Garm and Garos of the East, has protein in the form of free amino acids and peptides. In Southeast Asian cuisines, it is used to impart unique flavors and to provide an inexpensive source of protein in the form of free amino acids and peptides. Fish sauces in general have free amino acids in the forms of glycine, alanine, and glutamate. And glutamate is one of the reasons that provides that savory taste or umami, which increases overall enjoyment of a meal thanks to the presence of free amino acids that stimulate taste receptors such as free glycine, alanine and glutamate, as stated before. Other fish sauces apart from ancient Malays Budu prefer to decant liquids or filter it to produce a more clearer or watery final fish sauce product. Budu, compared to other fish sauces, retains the body or the whole fermented fishes, resulting in more nutrients, more availability for the proteins, more free amino acids, hence more tasty because of the glutamates. They are available in abundance in Budu. Alison Burks further commented that the recipes and methods used vary from one region to another. Some use raw fish, some dried fish, but for Budu, it is always fresh, whole fish, mainly anchovies. The Budu uses whole fish fermented with salt, and later sugar and pepper are added. Boiling is involved too. The process takes about 6 months to a year. Budu Katere, a brand of the more infamous one for Budu, claim that their fermentation processes reaches their peak at about 6 months. What are the other benefits of Budu? Good sleep. Also, according to Reader's Digest, fish sauce can help one get some really good sleep. Nowadays, with increased contact with blue screens, and even when we try to live a normal life without less dependency on them, we still need them for work and at least check news and take care of our loved ones. Technology has enabled us to check on one another almost seamlessly, but all that without good self-management can result in many negative things. One of it is insomnia and out of whack biological clocks, when night and day is confused and sleep and waking gets clobbered up. Well, what do we have here? Here's Budu to the rescue. Budu and fish sauce contains a high amount of essential amino acids which support sleep. The site goodnight.res explained that amino acids are organic compounds that aids body's metabolism. The ideal balance and supply of amino acids can be negatively impacted by many things such as pollution, malnutrition, smoking cigarettes, and alcohol. One important and glaring symptom that we all should look out for is, of course, fatigue. Most common amino acids linked to sleep health is GABA, glutamine, glycine, L-theanine, and tryptophan. Look at that. Most of the helpful things or components for sleeping well, like amino acids, are present in Budu and the general fish sauces. 3 more health benefits of Budu: reduce blood cholesterol, improves brain function, as known as good brain food. It also helps prevent degenerative heart diseases, as well as help the heart functions better. Another one, boosts both the digestive system and metabolism. This is all, of course, because of the presence of omega-3 in Budu and fish sauces. Do you know why Budu and fish sauces is said to have that umami, indescribable delicious taste? Well, apart from the known glutamate, scientists has attributed umami actually to the presences of iron. Hence, I believe the very murky brownish look of Budu. Whilst the rest of other fish sauces prefer to over-decant, filter and make it amber colored or even lighter or watery blackish, but only Budu retains the brownish murky rusty color. Budu, thanks to the wisdom of their Malay ancestors, retains Budu as it originally should look for eons and thousands of years, instead of choosing to go all out for mere aesthetics and avoiding the almost nasty appearances. We could say the probability of Budu to be more umami, aka more delicious, is positive because of how it looks. But of course, at the end of the day, you can't force people to eat or take in Budu as their favorite condiment. It is actually really just about individual preferences. So we can't force anyone to believe even what it is said about it. Why do you think ancient Malays decided to stick with the murky, brownish appearances of the Budu? They could have changed or so-called improved by filtering, decanting it better as the years goes by. The answer, I believe, is because they are not repulsive to the sight and color of the Budu itself. They know the nature of the color, which is filled with iron. This is because since 788 BC, the ancient Malays has been processing iron for the world. The ancient Sungai Batu archaeological site complex has unearthed not just 6 meter to 7 meter high mud furnaces used for iron processing, but also 2 years mud-made pipes, components used to blow hot airs into the furnaces, and they are found in an amount never ever been found anywhere else in the whole world. At that site, at the Sungai Batu archaeological complex alone, the amount sums up or goes up to 2 million units of 2 years. That's mighty a lot, and that's all for iron processing. Because the ancient Malays saw the nature of iron in their surroundings, aka the reddish brownish iron deposits in rocks, in the laterite soils, and etc., they are never repugnant by its presence. In fact, they mine and process it. It gave them lots of riches in returns. Now, they find iron in Budu. They might not spell it chemically like modern times, but they know it's a good thing. And for what's worse, it tastes divine. To the ancient Malays, decidedly the iron emporium of the world never heard and knew of. Iron has never failed to give them good things. Eating Budu, which sounds and looks worse than it looks and sounds, was not a failed thing. It survives in that state to the modern time because it was purposely preserved that way. Iron in Budus, bring it on. Why the Kelantanese Budu stayed the same throughout thousands of years? Is it because they choose to ignore technology? I think it is because of the embedded ancestral DNA and local wisdom. They always search for the right consistency, the right balance of smell, look and feel, and most importantly, the right amount of iron for that irresistible umami taste. Some questions why the Kelantanese Budu stayed stubborn, brown, murky and browny. Why not filter it? Again and again, why not make it more commercialized, look and feel? Whatever the reason, whether the slender was because the Kelantanese lack money and resources for more modern technology, one thing is true: true Cantonese and other Budu connoisseurs like it the way it is, unfiltered, brown and murky, filled with the goody iron that makes the umami taste 1,000 or 1,000,000 folds better. The Cantonese of present time recklessly did not follow the trends, where everything needs to look classy, good for TV and on social media platforms. Thank God for that, for they preserved the ingenious ancestral wisdom that resulted in us modern men and women, families and friends to be able to taste what's the best umami condiment that ever was. The Budu of the ancient Malays, from thousands of years, trial and errors, experimenting and lessons learned. The Budu is nowhere like what kimchi is now, so globally recognized and deified, but Budu will get there somehow someday, or it remains a connoisseur's delight only for those in the know. That's why we see Budu as a really rare type of fish sauce, and it is really not for seasoning. It is for dipping and more to the nature of condiments, especially when prepared with red shallots, small chili paddies and a dash of lime juice. There is insistence of staying true to their ancient Malay roots, and of course it makes them unique. And another, of course, it links them to the uncanny resemblances to the original fish sauce of the Greeks and Romans, which is the brown, murky, muddy Garos garum. Although later Romans would insist that the clear amber-like liquids would be rebranded as the true and only fish sauces associated with Romans, leaving the dregs or the cheaper versions to the slaves, none can deny that the origin of that all came from Greeks Garos. The same with Cantonese Budu. Some may howl insult saying Budu is like an unfinished product, or the manufacturer are just too lazy to make it more presentable. Or why would anyone want to eat such an unappealing thing that smells horrible too? Those slurs and comments are not new. It has been hauled at Greeks Garos for sure, and the whole of fish sauce industry at many points of their existences. Fish sauces smells, but why the double standard and insult to the fellow fish sauce member? In most culinary reviews about fish sauce, Cantonese Budu version of fish sauce is almost always decidedly and purposely left out from being mentioned, name dropped, more so reviewed, as if it didn't qualify, didn't matter. If it is an uncivilized people's food, why the discrimination? But on the other hand, maybe it's just that best kept secret. Why is it a best kept secret? Because not just it is delicious, it is also chock full, packed with nutrition, and made us shameful for overlooking it beyond the umami taste. Fermented foods' health benefits rave is nothing new, and it is clearly being radically embraced globally thanks to the South Korea's ingenious marketing of their country's pride, the kimchi. For Budu, since the reviews and articles about it are so lacking in the world over, and many food critics deem it below their standards to even enter on their menu list, I'm here to join few of my fellow Budu crusaders and share what I know about its health benefits.